Do you guys use the N-word with the hard R at the end?
Yes.
What?
All the time.
Ahmed does. I don't.
All the time.
Why?
Because it's similar to I was watching Dave Chappelle with my friends. What was it? Today's Wednesday. This is on Monday when I went up to pretty much drop off a family friend, and it was storming, so I decided to stay with my friends, and we're watching Dave Chappelle, and pretty much in the special they're like, you can't say the word, and he like would yell out faggot.
Oh, I remember that was Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, Sticks and Stones.
That one, yeah.
And he was pretty much talking about that, and they're like, and he's like, so why can't I say faggot? And he was like, they're like, because you're not gay. And he was like, well, Kelly, I'm not a nigger either.
I remember that.
Yeah, right. And so it's like, for me, it's not, I don't say the N word, you know what I'm saying, out of malice. I say it in terms of just like comedy and in a way, I guess subconsciously empowers you, because like before, white people would say it, you know what I'm saying, but now like me and my friends will say it, and it's not like an offensive thing. It's like we understand what we're saying in terms of our context. Now, do I go out willy-nilly to Walmart and call people the N-word? No. That's, you know, you got to know your boundaries.
You know, something I think about often too is like, should people, because there's a difference between African American and African, right? So like, I understand African American people saying like, no, we're taking this word, like we're going to use it to empower ourselves and like no longer mean what slave masters wanted it to mean. So then that makes me think like, so does that mean that African people should not be able to use the word? Because we didn't have enslaved people come to this country. Like we don't have the same history as African American people.
That's very true. But at the same time, there was definitely racial segregation even in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say South Africa, for example, apartheid. You know what I'm saying? That was a system that was based on studying multiple countries where they separated blacks and whites because of, you know, the inferiority complex kind of thing. I'm pretty sure they probably still called them the N-word. Like it's kind of not necessarily universal or anything like that, but like if you're black, you most likely heard someone say the N-word to you.
Also, like, go ahead, Luffy. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add.
It should basically question is, should Africans say the N-word?
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
I know. You've never given a shit. I know. That's why you're over there in the corner quiet. But something like just going off of what Ahmed was saying. So if you're saying that all black people should be able to say it, like there's black people, like one would have to start discussing what does black mean? Because like even in Malaysia, like there are people who are dark skinned. Like is black based off of skin? Is it based off of culture?
And that's why I don't care about people saying the N-word. Because I can't judge it. I can't police it. I don't know. Like literally for instance, if I see someone walking down the street and they're like, hey nigga, right? And I look at them and they're lighter skinned than me. If I say, yo, this is a white dude, why is he saying that? I'm not saying right or wrong, right? But at that moment, what happened is I made a judgment upon this person, right? That either A, you are allowed to, or B, you are not allowed to. I became like the police. Remember we were talking, I don't know if it was a conversation with you or with Ahmed. I was saying the people on the edges of a group, like the fringes of the group, are the most vocal members. They're the ones who decide its boundaries, right? So me telling someone else, you're allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say this, I've immediately moved myself from the moderate position, aka the silent majority, who just kind of let shit slide, to be yes, no, I'm gonna police the boundaries of if you can or can't say this. And that's not a position I necessarily want to get myself into, because I haven't with myself found the intellectual consistency that I can rely upon. So in regards to, yeah, I don't give a shit, but the reason I don't give a shit is because I don't know.
I think that's a better way of phrasing it. I don't know versus I don't give a shit.
Why can't I just be a hood nigga a little bit? You know what I'm saying? I can use easier words to describe how I feel. I don't got to go into all this intellectual conversations. Like.
You're not a hood nigga.
If you saw where I work, yeah.
I will definitely say this.
Luffy's a hood nigga.
Throwing up
So-
for my people.
In terms of the controversial question, can other races say the N-word? Da-da-da-da-da. Should it be, seen as a hate crime if they do? I get it. I understand why people police others when they say those words. You know what I'm saying? Similar to what I was saying was like, yo, sometimes that could be offensive for people, right? But I'm also on the kind of spectrum where I'm like, yo, I'll say this. You have the freedom of speech, but there's going to be consequences regardless of who you are and what you say. You know what I'm saying? So if you're white and you say the N-word, just be prepared to get beat.
Yes.
But you can say it.
I agree.
Yeah, you can say it.
I agree. Look, here's my take on I'm a freedom of speech absolutist. Like, I believe that you should be allowed legally to be in a movie theater and yell out fire. You should be allowed legally to be in an airport and yell out bomb. Like, I'm an absolutist. I'm a freedom of speech absolutist. Now, that doesn't disqualify you from being prosecuted in the court of public opinion and public law. So if that same group of people who, you yelled out fire in a movie theater, if they go outside, they realize there's no fire and they beat your ass, hey, I think maybe that's justified, but I don't. And here's the distinction. I'm not a fan of letting government dictate what we can and can't do or say necessarily. I'd rather it be left in the hands of the people than even if I agree with the rulings that are in place. And for that reason, I don't believe in offensive speech necessarily, because I don't think it's a good idea for us to say, oh, these words are offensive, you can't say them. It's like, yeah, you can think that. And if y'all think it, then cool, y'all can do something about it. But there shouldn't be a government oversight or a government decree that these words are banned. Because what happens when you ban shit? People want to use it. That's why all these suburban white kids who go around saying nigga, 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 nigga.
It's like why 6ix9ine uses the N-word all the time.
Wait, Luffy. So I thought about that too. I meant Luffy. You're for less government involvement.
Whoa, that's an across the board statement. I don't know how I feel about that, but I know for a fact that when it comes to freedom of speech, I'm for less government involvement in regards to our speech, meaning that you're free from prosecution and here's my conundrum with it, right? With this idea that I have, right? If I'm saying that I kind of am okay with vigilante justice, right? What is a government? Right? If the government decrees that you're allowed to do anything, but then the mob kills you, well, then the government is the people.
That's what the government is supposed to be. The people. Is it always the people?
It is the people. It's always the people. It's just a matter of which people. You know what I'm saying? And theoretically, you're supposed to be like, all right, if the government's not going to prosecute me, then I don't need to necessarily worry about my neighbor. That's kind of the idea behind it. But I kind of flipped it on its head, and I'm still trying to work out all the logical inconsistencies within it. Like that one, for instance. Like, I believe government is supposed to be about the people. So how am I saying vigilante justice is okay?